Hey guys, welcome to another episode of TFL Today. We're coming to you live from Boulder, Colorado. I'm Andrei Smirnov and I'm joined by...
Tommy Micah, what are we talking about today, Andre?
Well, today, you know what, we've been thinking and I've been thinking, there's so many cars that are upcoming that they've teased us or we've seen prototypes of that are not out yet, or some of them are out and the specifications are released, but these are the top 10 upcoming new cars that we cannot wait to drive. And we have some speculation, we have some real data on some of them. And how about we just start?
Let's go for it.
Let's go
now,
for it.
number 10 is a car that we really are excited for and a car we really don't know a lot about. And that is, of course...
the potentially 2018-2019 Mustang Shelby GT500. Obviously, the GT350 has been out for a couple of years. And what Tommy is showing here on the TV is the updated styling of the 2018 Mustang.
Yeah.
And obviously, if Ford was to build a GT500, so basically the king of Mustangs, it will look something like this as far as the headlight and sort of the overall shape is concerned, because this is the brand new styling that Ford is going with. But we don't know a lot about this car because there have been a lot of rumors about the engine. So some other outlets out there have seen prototypes running around Michigan and Dearborn, and these cars have really, really huge tires. Obviously, it's going to put out a lot of power. Currently, the GT350 is making around 526 horsepower, and that's a lot of power from a naturally aspirated flat plane crank V8. But there are a lot of rumors about twin turbos on this GT500, and everybody thinks it's going to be a twin turbo V8, right, Tommy?
Well, that's the speculation, but guys, keep in mind that the new GT is a twin turbo V6 and EcoBoost.
Yes.
So this might not be a V8 powered car.
So yeah, so the GT just came out, the exotic hypercar. It has around 650 horsepower from a twin turbo V6.
So these are photos from Car and Driver. This was a mule spotted, and you can see it's got a lot of camouflaging going on, but you can see we also have different wheels and tires.
Yes, really wide tires, right?
We've got a potential wing in the back right there.
Yep.
You can see that. Just a pretty interesting looking vehicle. And once again, we don't know a whole lot about what to expect.
Yeah, and we also don't know when it's going to be released, but rumors about this car have been circulating at least a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Circulating, and a lot of these prototypes are running around. So this is very exciting. We cannot wait for this car.
And if you want a fast Mustang, there are current fast models like the GT350, the 350R. So there are performance Mustangs out there. And the 2018, they did get rid of the base model V6, didn't they, Andre? So it's just the EcoBoost and that big old 5-liter V8. So we can't wait to see what Ford does with this, whether or not they go to a twin-turbo V6 EcoBoost like the Ford GT, or if they do go for that, twin-turbo V8 that everyone's been kind of hoping for and discussing online. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so we can move on, but before we do, please provide your comments as well, and let us know your feedback. If you have any information, or if you've seen a prototype running around, let us know. You can always email us at info@tflcar.com. And by the way, at the end of this episode, this is about 30 minutes long, we're also going to give away another TFL t-shirt. So that's going to be exciting. Number 9 on our list is the Audi Q8. So behind me, you could also see an Audi Q7. This is a brand new car right here in the studio. And Q8 was unveiled a few months ago at an auto show, and Nathan and I did a little news piece about it. And the Q8 is basically introducing a little bit new styling direction for Audi. So if you take a look at what the images that Tommy has pulled up here.
Yeah.
Obviously the lights are changing a little bit, the overall grille and the lower portion of the nose as well as the rear of the car are changing slightly. Actually, not slightly, I mean the rear really looks different. But this is basically a luxury version of the Q7. It's going to be a little smaller in size, the concept that was shown at the auto show had 4 seats.
Well, what's interesting about this Q8 is the concept also had a plug-in hybrid system that developed, according to them, right around 515, 516 pound-feet of torque. We really don't know if that's going to be the system in the new Q8. Now, allegedly, this vehicle is going to go up with stuff perhaps like the BMW X6, the new Maserati SUV. We're really excited for this because at the auto show, especially in this blue, it was just stunning. It was such a show grabber, such a showstopper, and it had this really cool interior. Just really, really a beautiful looking SUV. Very sporty. We can't wait to see what they do with this.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only the styling on the outside, if you go to TFL Now, our channel, we also have a walk around of this car. And the interior is also kind of a new direction for Audi.
Absolutely.
You know, they have updated the interior as well. So this car represents not only luxury, but new technology for Audi, as well as new style.
Right. Okay, next we have the new Honda Civic Si, a car that has been highly anticipated. Not the Type R guys, just the Si. You know, a really, really fun, exciting car in the past, and it's all new. What do we know about this new Civic?
Well, actually, we know quite a lot. So, obviously, Honda is on the roll with the new Civic. They've just done, released a new version of the car last year. Now, for 2017, the Si is here, and the Si has a 1.5-liter turbocharged engine, which is very similar in many ways to the engine in the regular Civic.
Yeah.
But what Honda has done, they've boosted the turbo pressure from 16.5 psi to 20.3 psi. So they raise the pressure and the power comes up as well. 205 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque. And what are the people out there saying, Tommy? Are they happy with that?
Well, on the internet there's been a lot of talk, guys, because the previous generation Si also had right around that 205 horsepower mark, which is pretty good, but the fact that the new one doesn't necessarily up that number was a little bit concerning. But this new model perhaps might be a little bit lighter. We do have 192 pound-feet of torque, and that power should come in lower because it is a turbocharged engine, and it's got this really cool center-mounted exhaust system. I love the way it looks. Do you like the way it looks, Andre?
Yeah, actually, I like the direction that Honda is taking with their Civic lineup. Obviously, the Type R is also out there, and obviously, it's part of our list, along with the Si. But here's the thing. Tommy and Charlotte, you guys reviewed a 2017 hatchback Civic.
Yep.
With a 1.5-liter turbo and a 6-speed manual. Mm-hmm. And how was that car?
We had the Civic Sport in the hatch, and we loved it. It was just so fun to drive. That 6-speed was so direct. Really, really enjoyed driving that car. And I can't wait for the Si, because if just the regular Civic Sport was that great, I think the Si is going to be even more fun to drive. I don't really know if you need it, though, because that 1.5 in that hatchback was really engaging, and with the Sport package you had those cool center-mounted exhaust pipes. Just a really cool-looking vehicle. And this new Civic Si promises to be even more fun. So this is going to be a really, really interesting vehicle when it comes out.
And it's also going to be relatively affordable. $23,900 is the starting price for the Si.
Yeah.
And you can get it in a coupe or a sedan. Same price for both. So that's really exciting.
We have some comments saying that there's too much technology in the new Civics.
Really? Well, did you feel like that about the hatchback? I think, yes, the dash is digital. But I think it's I don't think there's a technology overload in the Civic across the board.
Yeah.
Especially because Honda is still focused on the manual transmission. That's a very direct connection to the driver. And if you look at the dash, they do have a digital display, and I think it's relatively intuitive.
Yeah, I love these new seats. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the seats are great.
These seats are really, really cool looking. I can't wait to sit in this vehicle. Okay. Number 7, Andre, what do we got?
Number 7. So Nathan and I went prototype hunting one day last year, and we came upon a gaggle of Corvette prototypes.
A gaggle, huh?
and they were camouflaged. They had wings on the back. And after some research and looking at these cars, this will be, or supposed to be, the next ZR1 Corvette. Basically, the king of all Corvettes. But these pictures are about 7 months old, and we still don't have any official information. These cars have been running around in the wild, prototypes, for many, many months, and this is basically supposed to be the sort of the last car for the C7, the 7th generation of the Corvette, and you could tell there's new wheels, a little bit.
Sorry, let me brighten it up a little bit.
There you go. Thank you, Tommy.
Yep.
Brand new wheel design, a little bit of wider tire, and a lot of new design on the nose. Basically, you need a lot of air to cool what potentially is an extremely powerful V8 engine. And we heard these cars idling, and it definitely sounded like a V8 for sure. We don't know what the specifications will be. Some estimates out there put it around 700 horsepower. I think there's a little bit of pressure on GM to get the power number as high as possible, because there is, of course, the Hellcat out there, and now there's a Demon with upwards over 800 horsepower. So there's a lot of pressure on Corvette guys to deliver a great car, but I think they're also focused about track performance, because this car was seen on the Nürburgring, of course, testing. Yeah. And it was so loud, they had to put extra pipes on it to quiet it down.
Well, if you want a really fast Corvette right now, you do have the option for the Z06, well over 600 horsepower, supercharged monster. So I don't know how they can go above the Z06, but maybe they'll be able to do it with this new ZR1. I'm just super excited. We talked about the speculation of that 6.2 being supercharged again for the ZR1, maybe over 700 horsepower, 750 horsepower. We just don't know. It's been a long time, as you said, since this vehicle has been seen driving around, and there's still not a lot of concrete information being provided from GM, so we can't wait to find out more about this new ZR1.
Yeah, I mean, there's, on our list, there's another Corvette, but we'll get to that much later.
Yeah.
Obviously, guys, please provide your feedback and comments as we're going along. Next on our list, number 6, right?
Yep.
Is an Alfa Romeo Stelvio. This is a brand new SUV from Alfa Romeo. Sort of a departure for them, but SUVs and crossovers are very, very hot right now. Obviously, there's the Maserati Levante, which is a popular SUV, which they apparently cannot build enough of. So I think Alfa Romeo is going to have a really good sort of success with this car. And Tommy, we're going to be driving it in June, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we're heading out to Nashville, I believe, to drive this new Alfa Romeo. I'm so excited for this new performance SUV. It's just going to be so exciting. Now there's really 2 versions of it. There's a 2-liter turbo, and then there's the top dog Quadrifoglio.
Quadrifoglio. It's a little bit complicated to say that.
Which is a 2.9-liter V6.
Twin turbo.
Twin turbo, over 500 horsepower, right, Andre?
Yes, 505 horsepower. And this twin turbo, basically, I don't know if Alfa Romeo will directly say this, but it's really related to a Ferrari technology engine. So you're basically getting room for up to 5 people in something that has over 500 horsepower, and obviously all-wheel drive. And Stelvio, the name comes from a famous mountain pass in Europe, which is a very challenging, sort of really twisty Stelvio pass.
Yeah.
And Quadrifoglio, actually the 2-liter will start at around $44,000. So obviously, when you put options on it and when you go to Quadrifoglio version, it will be far beyond that price. But
I really think it's a beautiful design. I mean, it really is just...
Yeah, Alfa Romeo design recently has been really beautiful. If you look at their sedan, the Giulia, and the interiors are really, really well done. Obviously, we can't wait. We're going to be driving it mid-June, so come back to TFL Car YouTube channel. We'll have a lot more on this Stelvio, and we cannot wait.
You know what's super cool about this vehicle too is even, just the entry-level Stelvio with the 2-liter, I think just looks still awesome. I mean, it's just such an elegant-looking design. Can't wait for this SUV. There's so many crossovers out on the market today, and there's very few I get truly excited about, but this has got to be one of them. Just an SUV from Alfa Romeo. Who would have thunk? But man, I'm just so excited.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more excitement coming up, because number 5 on our list is also a car that we don't know a heck of a lot about, because Toyota has been very secretive about this car. And this is the potentially 2019 model year Toyota Supra. So Toyota actually got together with BMW to develop the next generation sports car, and this is supposed to be a proper, very fast sports car.
So these are spy shots brought to us by our friends at Autoblog. Really interesting shots. This was parked, I believe, at a gas station, and you can really start to see the full design of this Supra. Still heavily camouflaged, but once again, not a whole lot we know.
Officially, there's
officially,
not a lot of official information. But a couple of years ago, you guys will remember probably, Toyota unveiled the FT1 sports car concept. And that car was just gorgeous. It was low, it was wide, it had swooping lines, and a lot of the lines actually you can kind of see in this prototype as far as kind of the curvature of the car. I just hope that Toyota and BMW will have also a sister car to this. I hope Toyota will actually transfer a lot of that passion from the concept car into the production car. And there are rumors about a twin turbocharged V6. Because obviously Toyota and Lexus are going that direction. They're introducing more and more turbocharged engines into the lineup, and they have really good, obviously, craftsmanship. So very excited about this car. We don't know exactly when it will come out. A lot of outlets out there saying 2019 model year, so probably within the next year. Hopefully maybe in Los Angeles in November of this year we might see this car debut, or maybe in Detroit or another auto show coming up in 2018.
Yes. Last time we saw a Supra was 2002. It's been a long time.
Yes.
This is going to be a big car for Toyota. It's going to be a big car for BMW. We're still probably a little while out until we see the final production version. But from what we've seen a lot of winter testing, spy shots of winter testing, and it's definitely an exciting new prospect for Toyota.
Yeah, and obviously Toyota has the FRS that they developed with Subaru, so this is going to be well beyond that. Hopefully not too expensive. There's some rumors that this car will be very expensive in its top trim. Hopefully Toyota can make it a little bit more affordable.
Well, now for something completely different. The Durango SRT, pure America right there. What is this vehicle, Andre?
Yes, so a lot of you guys out there really love the Durango RT, which is basically a kind of V8 powerful 3-row, basically a full family crossover SUV. But Dodge has taken it to the next level with the SRT, and this is basically a 392 cubic inch V8 with 475 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. So Dodge went out there, and this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, obviously, because they went out there and they certified it on the quarter mile at 12.9 seconds.
Yeah, NHRA certified.
So 12-second SUV in quarter mile, that's pretty impressive. Obviously, there's a little bit new style, including the air vents, because...
Yeah, look at this new hood. This is just berserk.
Yeah, and it's reminiscent a little bit of the Hellcat as far as kind of the hood design. Obviously, here's the big 6.4 liter Hemi. By the way, we have another 6.4 liter Hemi in this room, Tommy.
Yeah,
and it's behind you in this 2017 Tradesman.
Yep.
That we will be doing a work truck comparison with.
Yep, lots of videos coming on that.
But unfortunately, this 6.4 liter Hemi in this truck and the 6.4 liter Hemi in this crossover are quite a bit different because they have wildly different power numbers.
Yeah, we also have Brembo brakes in a Durango. Who would have thought that we would see Brembos in a Durango? Just so cool. I love the design too. It's just so aggressive. The Durango already was kind of an aggressive looking vehicle.
Yeah.
And they somehow have stepped that up with the SRT. We've got LEDs down in the lower fascia here, new wheels. Oh, just so cool.
Kind of a wider tire, and its stance is great. And I think Dodge has built... there were rumors that Durango is going away.
Yeah.
And then Dodge came out with this, and they said, no.
Surprise!
It's not going away. We're going to up the ante on the performance and really go to town with the SRT.
Yep. Okay, next. This photo is brought to us by our friends at Car and Driver. The new BMW M5.
Oh boy. So whenever we test a BMW performance car, and this actually has to do with their performance division, Alpina. These are Alpina cars in BMW speak are very luxurious and also very, very fast. But the next generation M5 is promising to sort of take over where the Alpina kind of that space, and by that I mean twin turbocharged V8 4.4 liter, which you've kind of known from the past, but the horsepower rating is set to be about 600 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque, and all-wheel drive. So that's the big thing, because you have a lot of power and you got to put it down to the ground, and all-wheel drive system is the way to do it. And there was a challenge at BMW, right, Tommy? Because they just unveiled the 550 xDrive a few months ago.
Yeah.
And the 550 xDrive BMW 5 Series was already faster than the last generation M5. That time was a 3.9 second 0 to 60 claimed by BMW. And when BMW rates their vehicles, they mean it. So when they say 3.9 seconds, in our testing at high elevation, we can almost get the exact same numbers that they claim, which is amazing because there's less air density up here, and all engines, including turbocharged engines, struggle at elevation. But BMW is always tries to maintain that high performance.
Yeah, a very sophisticated all-wheel drive system allegedly in this new M5. The current M5 is really neat, but rear-wheel drive only, right?
Yeah.
So this new one bringing all-wheel drive to the table should help those launches, should make it more drivable perhaps on a day-to-day basis if you live in cold climate like we do.
Yeah, and also, of course, it has to be faster than 3.9 seconds because because it has more power than the 550 xDrive, and obviously, so you're talking like mid-range 3 second mid-range 0 to 60 times. Obviously, it's sort of have a new wheel design you can see on this prototype, and also it's going to be a handling car, right? M cars are about handling, and hopefully they can. We've tested an M2 last year, and that car it had that M feeling with the steering, where it was precise and very direct, and hopefully they can transition some of that sort of DNA and really put it back into the M5.
Right, okay. Next vehicle is a vehicle that's been highly anticipated, highly talked about. I am just stoked for this new Jeep to come out. That, of course, is the Wrangler JL. This is a rendering by JL Wrangler forums. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's kind of been all over the internet. But really exciting new product by Jeep.
Yeah, once again, we've been waiting a long time for this. I thought that Jeep might unveil it this year at the Easter Jeep Safari.
Yep.
They did not, but you guys went out to Moab, and you guys saw a concept that had some of the hints of this, and obviously the design overall is kind of the same. It's an evolution, not a revolution here.
Right.
But here's the concept that was shown, and it had a little bit more rake in the windshield. It had a new grille design with a little bit of lean in the grille, right?
Yeah, well, you can see that, unlike the current JK, the headlight kind of intrudes upon the 7 slots here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of a cutout, which is pretty neat. We don't know a whole lot in terms of what kind of materials are going to be going into the Wrangler JL. One thing we do speculate is they're going to need to reduce weight to improve their fuel economy numbers for CAFE standards. So maybe we'll see some aluminum, maybe we'll see some composite materials, maybe even carbon fiber on a Wrangler. How crazy would that be? We do suspect that there will be both 2- and 4-door variants. And what do we know about engines? We think there's going to be some new engine options as well, right, Andre?
Yeah, and it goes along with the efficiency story that you're talking about. Obviously, Jeep, is going to be very careful not to screw up the Wrangler. The Wrangler represents the DNA of the brand. It's their most off-road capable vehicle, so they're going to keep the axles. Most likely, they're going to keep the off-road ability of it, the bumpers, and the overall style. They're going to be working on the roof, and the engines are a big part of it because they want to increase the efficiency without taking away some of the off-road ability. And there's rumors about a 2-liter turbocharged gas engine, also rumors of a diesel, and we've seen some diesel prototypes testing in the Rocky Mountains here.
Yeah.
And also, of course, the Pentastar V6 may live on in some version in this truck. But so I think what Jeep is really doing is going to be offering a little bit more option. a little bit more options on the engine or powertrain verse, and the recent spy shots of the interior, and I think they're going to be sort of working and refining their interiors a little bit more.
Yeah, these is also provided by JLWranglerForums.com. Take a look at the interior. You know, Andre, it looks very Toyota-esque to me. We've got these round vents along this
Yeah.
kind of flat applique on the dashboard. New Uconnect system, very different climate control system, new steering wheel. You know, one of the concerns and issues with the current Wrangler JK has been the interiors. Obviously, they updated them in 2011 because the older JK interiors were really plasticky. The new ones are better. But this new one hopefully will be even better still. We've got kind of a close-up of the new climate control, the new Uconnect. Whether or not this will be production has yet to be determined, but still, it's pretty exciting to see what they'll do with this.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw this with the round vents, it almost looks luxurious and very, very high end. I actually thought about an Alfa Romeo interior for a second when I first saw this. And here's the question: are they going too far on the luxury end, or are they, what do you guys think? I mean, should the Wrangler interior be very, swoopy and luxurious, or should it be more simple? Let us know what you think.
Yeah. One concern that I have is I like to have my Wrangler interiors durable because there's going to be mud thrown at them. There's going to be all sorts of water in there when I'm off-road.
Yeah.
Having something I can easily clean out is super important to me, at least in my Wrangler JK. So I hope the new Wrangler JL continues that trend.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be cleanable, has to be easy to use, and some of the big buttons and big knobs here, I think, point in that direction, which is great. Obviously, we cannot wait for this. We don't know exactly when Jeep is going to debut this, but we cannot wait to drive this.
Okay,
Now,
next.
number one.
Yep.
And this car we don't know much about, but there have been so many rumors. This rumor mill on this car goes back maybe 3 or 4 years. And this image of a prototype comes to us from Road and Track. This is basically a prototype
Of the new mid-engine Corvette.
Yeah, and I'm just speechless because, well, first of all, the new Ford GT has just come out, right?
Yep.
Ford GT is the mid-engine exotic hypercar. And is this GM's answer to this? And this is what I'm wondering to myself. Obviously, you could see the short nose. So the nose is just there for aerodynamics, it appears, and to kind of make a nice aerodynamic shape. Big, long tail, so suggesting that there's a mid-engine design and the engine is actually right behind the driver and passenger. Obviously, they're testing it. This is kind of a winter test of the car. And there's a lot of information circling around because the door and sort of the greenhouse of the car, including the windshield rake, remind of the C7. So if you put this car next to a C7 Corvette, you will see a lot of similarities in the windshield design and the door design. So is this a continuation of the C7 platform modified to accept the mid-engine design, or is this an entirely new chassis based, and will this be the 8th generation Corvette, and will it have multiple models, multiple maybe power levels with it? We don't know this information, but some outlets out there peg this as a 2019. Obviously, the ZR1, if that's coming out, has to come out before this, because the ZR1 is kind of continuation of the C7, and we don't know enough about this car.
Now, there have been actually, going back several decades, other kind of GM Corvette
Concept.
aero design concepts before, so this is not necessarily a brand new thing, even though a lot of people think it is. So, we're super excited to see, and I think everyone's super excited to see just what GM's going to do with this new Vette. It's just so out there. It's just so crazy to a lot of people to have finally maybe this be an actuality instead of just an idea.
Yeah, and obviously it's very exciting, and I think performance cars are definitely living on, and they're strong because GM is testing this, and they've been testing this for at least several years. So
Right.
Obviously this is very exciting. Cannot wait to actually see this in the flesh at an auto show. or at a racetrack near you, or even a canyon.
Yep. But of course, GM is definitely concerned. I think a lot of the manufacturers are concerned about this vehicle just because of the horsepower number.
Yep.
The Dodge
Demon.
Demon.
So this is the Challenger Demon that was just unveiled in New York. And I was there to see it. It was an insanely crazy show with lots of pyrotechnics and explosions. And on pump gas, this car is rated at around 808 horsepower. That's already an insane number because 800 horsepower or above, there's not a lot of cars that can claim that. And a lot of cars that claim those numbers are hyper exotics, $1 million cars. And this car will be a lot more affordable, obviously. It'll be more expensive than the Hellcat. We don't know exact pricing yet, but it might be under 100 grand. We don't know exactly. It might be around that number. 840 horsepower if you go to high octane racing fuel. And of course, this is pretty much a drag race spec car. Even though in this basic trim, it does have wider tires front and rear than the Hellcat. So it does have more grip in the front and in the rear. So it could also potentially, corner a little bit better than the Hellcat. But obviously, wide fenders make this car look meaner than hell, and a humongous scoop on the hood.
Yeah.
So obviously, we cannot wait for this car. I mean, we have a Hellcat as our long-term vehicle, and this takes the Hellcat concept to the next level. And Dodge is very focused on this. They're saying they're going to build about 3,000 units for United States, around 300 cars for Canada. So this is going to be a limited run car. Obviously, there are a lot of anticipation, and I think people are already putting down deposits. But you have to be careful and make sure that all the deposits you put down are actually, with the dealership that will have these cars.
Right. I like this air grabber hood.
It's insane.
It's just crazy to me.
And it has so much technology. So it has a transmission brake. It has actually a system that actually chills using some of the air conditioner compressor to chill the intake air. It has dual inlets in the headlights for additional air because you have to feed a lot of air to this engine. It is a supercharged 6.2 liter Hemi.
Yep.
And it is backed up by an 8-speed automatic. And it has a lot of drag racing technology built into it. They claimed under 10 second, 9.65 second quarter mile times,
Yep.
which also makes it, illegal with NHRA because NHRA requires a roll cage
Yep.
for under 10 second cars. So bunkers car, but there's another bunkers car, right? And we also, I don't know, Tommy, if you have some images for this.
I can.
But
grab some.
while I'm introducing this car, it's the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, which is basically a Hellcat engine and an SUV. We already talked about the Durango, but how can you not mention the Trackhawk Jeep? All-wheel drive, 707 horsepower, wild supercharged V8 in an SUV for 5 people. It's going to be luxurious. And we cannot obviously wait for this. We've tested the previous generation SRT Jeep, and Nathan and Roman drove it around Circuit of the Americas in Texas, and that was an insane experience being on an F1 track in an SUV. And the next Trackhawk is going to be even wilder. Obviously, they're going to have gigantic brakes, quad exhaust pipes, and actually, you guys saw it. Roman saw it testing in the mountains with towing. So this SUV will be able to tow, which is insane. So I guess you can bring your Demon to the racetrack using your Trackhawk.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just a berserk vehicle. I mean, the fact that they put this much power in a Grand Cherokee is awesome. Once again, take a look. Brembo brakes on this vehicle. Of course, we've got that massive 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi we've all come to love in Challenger and Charger, and quad exhausts. Just such a cool looking vehicle. Probably not very off-road worthy though, is my bet, Andre.
No, it won't be off-road worthy. But so we're going to be wrapping up. But I did want to give away t-shirts. So we have a Patreon page which you can use to support us, patreon.com/TFLcar. And we have several of these shirts made, and we want to give it away to our best supporters. So what we're doing is, for those people who are supporting us with $10 a month, we're going to be picking names at random every show and giving away a t-shirt. And you let us know which size you want. We have some sizes between medium and XXL. And this time it's, and I might mispronounce this name, Michael Piccioni. So I picked your name at random, and I appreciate obviously all of us appreciate your support. And you guys' support makes our produced videos possible. We'll be doing a lot of truck comparisons, and this is our Patreon page. And our goal was going to be $1,000 a month from you guys, and we're close to that goal, so we really appreciate that. And if you can support us with anything, including $1 or $2, we always love that. So thank you for joining these live shows and giving us feedback, and we'll see you on Friday.
We've got a lot of questions and comments about how much the Demon's going to cost, a lot of speculation. Do you think it's going to be under 100K? That's what they said, right? They said under 100 grand.
Well, I don't know if they actually came out with a number. I was talking to the CEO of Dodge Cars, Tim, and he said stay tuned for the exact price. He didn't want to, release a number yet. The Hellcat is the Challenger Hellcat is around $70,000, and obviously this car is an updated engine. They completely updated the engine, so it's not just raising the boost. They beefed up the big Hemi, and they added all the other components: the cooling, the transmission upgrades, the brakes, the tires. So I think $100,000 is what it will be, but it's my guess.
I think it'll start under, I'm thinking probably 80, 85, and then with options, it'll probably go up. I'll go up from there, yeah. Because we've got,
You'll have the crate, which gives you, a different computer for high octane, and then, pizza cutter wheels for the front for drag racing.
Yeah, a bunch of all sorts of funny stuff in here.
Which you can see in the trunk. So once you get all the options, it might be 100 grand.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what the final price tag on this Demon will be. But guys, if you have any other cars you're really excited for, please post them in the comments below. We always read all your comments. We love hearing feedback. So make sure that you respond to us. And stay tuned for our next live show. When do we do our live shows, Andre?
We do them 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Sometimes it may not be in the morning, but you can check back at 10, and we will usually do a show. But if not, if something is happening or we have a cool car coming in, we might do it in the afternoon. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thanks, guys.